One of the greatest challenges in life is knowing enough to think you're right, but not enough to know you're wrong. Unintended consequences. We were talking about that a little bit. So, okay, you don't know what you don't know. So there's things that you do know, there's things that you know that you don't know, and there's things that you don't know that you don't know. Those things are the things that aren't in your awareness. For example, I know that 1 + 1 = 2, and I know the math around that. I know that there are mathematical formulas I'm not familiar with. So it's something I know that I don't know. And if I needed it, I could go out and get it. But then there's things that you don't know that you don't know. There are things that you aren't even aware of that you would need to know. For example, in the whaling days, they didn't know that oil from the ground could be used as a form of fuel. If they did, they probably would have used that. It was a lot easier than killing a whale. So that was a case of not knowing what they didn't know. They had to evolve to where they knew that thing. And then there's people who, I remember after 9/11, there was a reporter took a photo of the two towers out and showed them to a farmer in, I think it was Iraq, might have been Iran, it was somewhere in the Middle East. And he showed this farmer this picture of these two buildings and asked him what he thought about the fact that they'd been destroyed. And the farmer said he didn't believe them. The reason he didn't believe them is because it's impossible for somebody to build a building like that. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. It's out of his sense of possibilities that something like the two towers could even exist. This is my favorite quote from Neil deGrasse Tyson. One of the greatest challenges in life is knowing enough to think you're right, but not enough to know you're wrong. Anybody who's been on social media has confronted that. Some people on social media think they've confronted that, but they were that. They actually know enough to know that there's an issue, but not enough to know that they don't know the truth behind the issue. We see this in science a lot. A lot of people who read an article and suddenly think they're an expert in something scientific. I remember this physicist made a comment on some scientific model, environmental scientific model, and he pointed out a discrepancy in the model, and the social media mob just went crazy. What does he know? He's only a physicist. All of science is based on physics. You can't get wind without physics. You can't get a drop of water without physics. So physics is like the basis of all science. But these people are saying that this guy couldn't possibly be an expert because he's not a weatherman. These are people who know enough to believe that they're right, but not enough to know that they're not right. I'll give you another example. This was kind of interesting. Some other friends of mine were promoting a multi-level marketing thing. They were really into it, and they wanted everybody they knew to be in multi-level marketing. And they approached me and another mutual friend. We were all out in an event, and they brought it up. And the mutual friend said, well, he said, I'm not interested in it because it seems kind of cultish. Now, his point was, everybody that he'd met that's involved with this multi-level marketing program is very into it. They're very dedicated. They really think that this is the most important thing, is promoting this product. And from their point of view, I could see that. But when he said that, they came unglued on him. We're good Christians. We're not Satanists. We're not cultists. You see, they didn't understand that the word cult means sort of a fanatical observance or a fanatical belief in something. What they believed was that cult meant that you were some kind of a satanic ritualist. So their response, to me, it seemed inappropriate. But if you take it from their point of view, it made perfect sense. And what was that? That was right here. Knowing enough to think you're right, but not enough to know you're wrong. If they would have actually studied the term cult, they would have realized that the term cult didn't mean satanic ritualist. I do have pi memorized out to 9 digits. 3.1415926. Okay, 7 digits.